Hey y'all, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm not going to be out here too long, but what I really wanted to do was harvest from the collard greens, the mustard greens. Um, I had some comfrey that I wanted to cut up and put into my comfrey tea, the liquid fertilizer. And there's also a section of the garden. There's half a garden bed where it's full of longevity spinach, but you know, during when the weather got cold, you know, some of the leaves were all gross and stuff like that. So I want to dig up that whole side and um, replant the longevity spinach cuttings. So kind of like, you know, start over. And um, and on that same side, I want to remove some weeds and throw down some mulch, because my goal is to have the whole garden mulch to help with the weed suppression and stuff like that, but it also just looks better too. So that's, yeah, so that's it for today. Harvest, redo the longevity spinach, and mulch that little part by where I'm going to be working at. All right, so I just gathered all my supplies. So to get rid of the weeds, get you an action hoe. An action hoe. Okay? So it looks like this, and it works very well with doing a quick weed up in the garden. So I'm gonna do that first. Then I'm going to cover this area with the mulch that I have. Yeah, as much as I love to garden, I cannot stand bugs. So it doesn't take too long. It just scrapes up most of the weeds. I'm gonna throw some topsoil over by where the cassava is, because I didn't really put too much dirt, or well, not enough dirt when I planted it. And then I'm gonna dump these. I'm gonna put those weeds in the trash because I would compost them, but I don't know. I feel like I'm not sure. You could give me some feedback, but I just feel like certain weeds, yeah, it might break down, but I just don't want to like put them in the garden and then they start growing back. I don't know, but I'm gonna trash those. I also might as well dig up this lemongrass while I'm here because it's went to seed. It's pretty much done. So I'll dig it up as best as I can and then try to replant. Okay, guys, so I just cleaned out the side where the longevity spinach was. There was also a lot of Spanish needle that was there because I did plant some here at one point, and then, you know, once those seeds fly around, it's over. So I got rid of those too. And Spanish needle, the roots go like real deep. So I'm not gonna be intentionally putting any back here. I'm gonna do just the longevity spinach. So I'm gonna see what I can get from what I just dug out. Hopefully I can get a good amount of cuttings. And I also had some pieces saved in different pots. So if I don't get enough from here, then I'll just move what I had in the pots to this area. So, for example, this is a cutting that I could use. So I'll just make a pile of what I find. So this is just an example of another good piece. So I literally could I'll just break it here, strip the leaves, and then this piece will just go right back in the dirt. And they root really easy, so I just have to make sure I water it. But so far, this is what I have. And there's a few more I see that I could get. So for example, for a piece like this, always look for the little buds that are going in the up direction so that you know that you're going to plant it straight down. Just make sure you find little buds towards the top that are going up so that you know you're not accidentally going upside down. So just always make sure. So this is a Spanish needle. If you're not familiar with it, down here in Florida, they're everywhere. They're considered weeds, but it's more one of those medicinal ones. I can't tell you exactly what it's good for, but definitely look it up. The info is out there. I have eaten it before. Like, I've cooked it down. It takes a while to cook down because it's kind of tough, but you can cook it down, saute it however you want. Almost cook it down like a spinach. So I've cooked it down. I've added it to like scrambled eggs and stuff like that. It's supposed to be really nutritious, but it does take time to, process and, separate the leaves. And I mean, you can eat the stems too, but they are hard. So I will compost some of it, but like these, I'm just gonna toss because I already have a lot of seeds, and I feel like if I put this in the compost, wherever I use the compost, I'm going to be growing the Spanish needle. And I already have it in a few places around the garden, so I am just gonna toss it. Okay, so I got a good amount of cuttings. So this is everything. I'm gonna mix a little chicken manure in the soil, just, mix it up, and then I'll stick these in and water them. Okay, so the cuttings are in. So they just have to be watered. And right now I'm thinking about getting rid of this broccoli plant. Okay, so I definitely ended up clearing out everything. So there's the longevity spinach. I also got rid of the broccoli on this side, and there were a few smaller Ethiopian kale seedlings, so I just kind of spread them out. So that's that. I also had a rosemary on that side, which I put it over here. I repotted the broccolis in separate containers, and even the ones that were seeding, I put them over here. So hopefully when I water them, they'll kind of come back to life and I'll be able to get seeds from there. And maybe this one might seed or grow some more smaller broccolis that I could harvest. These are also some more broccoli plants that I'm going to try to find some containers to put them into. I think my problem with having them in the garden bed was that I didn't thin out the seedlings and they just kind of went crazy. So I think they'll do better in separate containers. So hopefully that will work out. Okay, so another quick thing I wanted to show y'all is that this plant right here, this is longevity spinach. And that is the original plant that I had, which is where I just kept propagating and propagating. See, that's some right there from the mother plant. Then of course all the ones I was growing over here is from that one. So honestly, once you buy it once and let it grow out, just keep getting cuttings, plant them, and you can have it forever. Okay, now over to the comfrey. So I have comfrey all over the garden. So this is my first time making the comfrey tea. So in the garbage can, I'll show you in a second, I have just comfrey leaves and water so that it can sit and make the comfrey tea, which will serve as a good fertilizer. And I think I bought my comfrey from either Etsy, eBay, one of them. But it literally came with 12 blocks, like 12 root pieces, and ever since I've planted them, I just keep digging them up, breaking the roots apart, and then planting them like all around the garden. So that's another thing that can really go a long way. So you literally just, like, if I wanted to, I would dig this out, and I would pick a large looking plant because chances are the root is bigger. So I'd pick a larger plant, take the root out, break it apart, and just plant it in different spots. And that's just how I am building up my comfrey supply. And this is more right here. I'll take some from here too. And like, you just pick them and they just grow back. Because I've already done this a few times to this one. And it will come back. So I have more to pick from, but this is good enough for now. And comfrey is also a medicinal plant. It could be used for different things, but just not ingested. You don't eat it, you don't make tea, you don't drink it. It's more of like a topical healing kind of plant. So this right here is my trash can for the comfrey tea. Before I started making comfrey tea in this, I would just put all my garden trash, like all the greens in here, fill up with water, and that would be my fertilizer. So after I finished that batch, I started the comfrey tea batch. And yes, it smells disgusting. And I did put mosquito dunks in here because mosquitoes will breed very easy. Okay, y'all, so that's it. Oh, there goes a little mosquito dunk. It floated to the top. So that will help stop the mosquitoes from breeding and taking over the backyard. Okay, finally made it to the collard greens, so I'm gonna harvest some of these. The harvest, so I got the Ethiopian kale, collard greens, some regular, what is this, curly kale or regular kale, and like 4 leaves of mustard greens. So that's today's harvest. So that's pretty much it. That's the end of the garden vlog. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out my TikTok as well. I do post over there. The link or my username, handle, whatever you call it, will be in the description box down below.